Hey guys, Justin here with Rocky Mountain. I've got a brand new 2017 Husqvarna TX300 here, and I want to quickly show you the bike and talk about some of the features before I go out and get it dirty. The TX300 is brand new for 2017 in Husqvarna's lineup, but as we all know, Husqvarna is owned by KTM, and the TX300 is pretty much the Husky version of KTM's 300XC that's been around for quite a while. The only difference between the TX and the XC is, bodywork's going to be different, and the biggest difference is the subframe. Husqvarna is going to have a composite subframe where KTM has aluminum. Now, both bikes received huge changes for 2017. Just about everything on the bike has changed. The frame's different, the motor's different, suspension's different. They even went from Kian to a Mikuni carburetor in 2017. So let's quickly take a look at some of the top features of this bike that have made it one of the most popular and talked about bikes of 2017. First off, let's talk about the engine. KTM totally redesigned the engine this year, and from what I understand, the changes, there weren't a lot of changes to the cylinder. They did change the head shape a little bit, but the biggest changes were in the cases of the bike. The whole goal there was to centralize mass, make the bike feel a little bit lighter, and with that change, they've put the electric start underneath the motor now. And supposedly some of the problems previous year electric starts have been fixed on this bike, so time will see with that. Now, the biggest change with the motor and the most talked about is the counterbalance. Husky and KTM have put a counterbalance in this bike, and it's greatly reduced the vibration. I'm amazed how little this bike vibrates. For a lot of guys, their excuse for not riding a two-stroke is because of the vibration. They don't have that excuse anymore. This bike is awesome. Next, let's talk about the suspension. The big news, of course, is the air fork. On some of the other bikes, people haven't been really in love with air forks, but everybody seems to really like this WP air fork. So I'm excited to get out and try it. I had the 4CS on a 16 and I didn't really like those forks. So I think this is going to be a great change for the Husky lineup this year. So the next big change is the frame. Now, the frame on the 2017 two-strokes is actually the frame they used last year on most of the new four-strokes. And I have a 2016 350XC. I really like the frame, so I'm excited to see how it feels on the two-stroke. With the changes to the motor, frame, and suspension, Husky has managed to shave even more weight off this bike. They're claiming 217 pounds. I threw it on our scale here at work, and I got closer to 220, but hey, that's still a really light bike, especially an electric start bike. Some of the other changes the bike got was, like I mentioned before, the Mikuni carburetor. Now, rumor has it, Kian didn't want to make carburetors anymore, so they had to switch to Mikuni. Whether or not that's true, I don't know, but there has been a lot of guys struggling to get this thing jetted correctly, so I'm going to be messing with that in the next little bit. I have no doubt this thing will rip. Some other little cool things that this bike has that I didn't realize was going to have was an adjustable CDI mapping. It actually comes with two different maps. You can adjust that right on the handlebar. Number one is your standard mapping, that's your more aggressive mapping, and then two is less aggressive, maybe for a beginner rider, or if you're in slick conditions, you're gonna hook up a little bit better with that mapping. Another feature that I didn't realize was on the bike until I got it was it's got pigtails for a headlight. So it's gonna be easy to put a headlight on this bike. Another thing I noticed was it's got the pigtail plug for a radiator fan. So I'm not sure what the output on the stator is yet on this bike, but I think it's pretty cool that I'm gonna be able to run a headlight and run a cooling fan if I want to. So to complement all those awesome features, Husky has also included an 18-inch rear wheel with this, larger capacity fuel tank, 6-speed transmission, and kickstand, all to make this an awesome off-road bike. So I'm really excited to get out and ride this. Keep in mind, in the next few weeks, I'm going to be doing a lot of testing and tuning on this bike. I'm also going to see what accessories and parts it might need to make it even better. So be sure and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss those videos. Thanks for watching.